Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Renu Arora, former Head Education and Training Division from NISCARE, New Delhi. Today we are going to talk about the module Information Literacy 2.0. This is from the paper Library Use and User Studies. After reading this module, you will be able to develop firm understanding of information literacy and information literacy 2.0. Categorically identify the relationship between user education, information literacy, and information literacy 2.0. You will also be able to demonstrate your knowledge about the effectiveness of Web 2.0 technologies in providing information literacy. You will understand that Web 2.0 tools allow people to be both consumers and producers of information, a fact that influences both teaching and learning. These participatory technologies enable reflective learning, independent learning, and the building of learning communities. Let us first understand what is information literacy. CLIP, that is the Chartered Institute of Library and Information Professionals, defines it as knowing when and where you need information, knowing where to find it, and how to evaluate, use, and communicate it in an ethical manner. Let's know the details of information literacy. Information literate people are those who have learned how to learn. They know how to learn because they know how knowledge is organized, how to find information, and how to use information in such a way that others can learn from them. They are people prepared for lifelong learning because they can always find the information needed for any task or decision at hand. Thus, information literacy is, in fact, the basis of a sound democracy. Being information literate ultimately improves our quality of life as we make informed decision when buying a house, choosing a school, hiring staff, making an investment, voting for our representative, and so on. Being information literate ultimately improves our quality of life as we make informed decisions. There are numerous definitions which are extensively acknowledged in discussing and illustrating information literacy. Let's now understand skills of an information literate person. An information literate person has a need for information, wants to know where the resources are available, wants to find how to find the information, wants to know how the results of acquired information can be evaluated. So there is need to evaluate results, wants to see how to work with results. Besides this, wants to have ethics and responsibility of use of proper information, and we also want to communicate or share our findings with others. Besides this, we also want to manage the findings of the information. Information literacy is therefore a set of skills needed to find, retrieve, analyze, and use information. It is a survival skill in the information age. Instead of drowning in the abundance of information that floods their lives, information literate people know how to find, evaluate, and use information effectively and efficiently to solve a particular problem, to make decisions. To be information literate, a person must be able to recognize when information is needed, how to use it, have the ability to locate, evaluate, and use effectively the needed and the required and the desired information. Information literacy education. Information literacy as context specified and context sensitive. Information literacy demands a variety of behaviors such as not just searching but also encountering, browsing, monitoring, managing, and creating. People moving along complex paths to meet their information needs, moving between the virtual and physical worlds and using different sources and spaces. Information literacy is in digital environments. Information literacy is also with people sources. People being information literate individually and collaboratively. And besides this, people being aware that information literate, if you are an information literate, you cannot be information literate 21st citizens without being conscious of the need to develop these information literacy skills and attitudes and continue to update your information literacy through your life. In fact, in the modern times, everyone needs to be information literate in the sense that not just literate but information literate, because now that we are making use of computers, we are making use of technology, Web 2.0 or information literacy, etc. So people have to be made information literate in all aspects. Let's now understand how Information Literacy 2.0 came about. In fact, Web 2.0 plus Information Literacy together form or result in Information Literacy 2.0. Information Literacy 2.0 is entirely about using Web 2.0 services in information literacy training and activities, that is, as a medium of information delivery and a method of education. Information literacy 2.0 is a group phenomena and something taking place in the mind. Information literacy 2.0 is about interpretation and negotiations in teaching, using Web 2.0 tools when information literacy programs are there, then integrated e-learning and hybrid environment in teaching methodologies. As there are several aspects of information literacy, it is not possible to provide an impermeable definition of information literacy 2.0. Precisely, information literacy 2.0 is not a monolithic whole that could be standardized and objectively measured. There is not just one right and correct information literacy 2.0, but many kinds of literacies that can be practiced both collectively as well as individually. The publishing and information culture of a certain discipline like law is not domain dependent but domain specific. There is not one correct way to practice information skills, and only the most general information literacy rules apply equally well to all knowledge domains. Information literacy 2.0 is both a group phenomena and something taking place in the mind. Web 2.0 technologies give us many means to practice and educate collective and dialogical information, creating, seeking, and managing our skills. In this particular slide, you can see the figure which shows widening of information landscapes included in Information Literacy 2.0 program. As you can see here, there is the traditional user education. From this we go on to have information literacy, and then we move towards Information Literacy 2.0. Information Literacy 2.0 is defined as one of the subsets of information literacy. Information Literacy 2.0 calls for broadening of the concept through the inclusion of information spaces that have been brought about by Web 2.0, such as the Wikipedia, blogs, social bookmarking services, etc. These spaces may well enough be used for research and educational purposes. As represented by the particular figure, there is a gradual widening of focus from stable and structured spaces towards the inclusion of those that are mutable and unstructured. But there is no sharp dividing line between the spaces included in Information Literacy and Information Literacy 2.0 programs. Information Literacy 2.0. Its key competencies include multidimensionality and diversity of context, competence of reflection, competence of action. On the other hand, Web 2.0 includes weblogs, wikis, and podcasts. With regard to learning, we can say it is storytelling and e-portfolios. When we say learning about information, we should concentrate on the privacy part of information. We should keep in view the critical view of information. Intellectual property has to be taken care of. Besides this, socio-technical practice and community practice has to be ensured. Let's take a look at features of library user education. In fact, in library user education, we have seen there are teaching mechanics, there is access and retrieval, which means that library and resource-based approach is applied here. There is exclusivity of solutions, that means a single correct solution is offered to a problem. Then there are systems level objectives. We have seen here that there is a structured library word, and in fact in library user education we are educating the library users for using the library, and for educating the library users several methods are adopted. It could be a tour of the library or giving a demo to the library users, or many times it could be showing a PowerPoint presentation or showing a small film or giving brochures, handbooks, etc. concerning the library to the users. And the library user education is basically one-time session. It could be isolated instruction, that means given to a single user, or it could be a group education given to a group of users. It is basically direct teaching and it's rarely integrated. And in fact, for a very long time, libraries have been using the user education programs for educating their users in using their libraries. We have already seen the features of library user education, and from this we have moved on to information literacy, which is basically an advanced aspect of library user education. What we do here involves many more modern aspects. It is not just showing something to the user or taking the user around. And here what we do is we basically discuss the teaching concepts and strategies. The user is just not acquainted with something but is actually taught and how to carry out a particular activity, how to handle the services, etc. Then access and retrieval is also taught to the users. Basically, what is done here is user is told how Boolean operators work or how truncation helps in locating some particular document, and then how control vocabularies etc. can be used. And once the user is told how to access and retrieve material, evaluation of material is also to be carried out in case of information literacy. Then in the next aspect, exclusivity of solutions and preferable information paths are also shown to the users. In addition to this, there are system level objectives which are conveyed to the users. Then structured information landscapes are drawn and user is shown which path to take when in order to retrieve information. And it is not just then educating the library or information user, but going much beyond that. And the information literacy therefore is not just simple plain library user education, but it is adds on or integrated. It is also a kind of e-learning and hybrid teaching and learning environments. And information literacy could be handled while the user is away from the library. It can be done online, or it could be a program which has been pre-recorded, or it could be in the form of a kind of a demo which is given to the user. Features of information literacy 2.0. There are several features of information literacy 2.0. Some of these are interpretations or negotiations, recognizing, information context, addressing authority, reliability and accuracy issues, non-exclusive solutions, multiple information paths, personal level, it has to be subjective, information spaces of unrecognized structures, educating information users and the creators of information. So these have to be education of both users as well as creators of information. Then add-ons or integrated e-learning and hybrid environments. There are several Web 2.0 services. So information literacy 2.0 is seen as a cerebral experience where informal learning is an integral component. Information literacy 2.0 includes not only learning with information but learning about information and knowledge. It challenges the library based concept of information literacy. In the word of Web 2.0, user is not seen as a customer but as a co-producer. Education is not a transfer of information and knowledge, but a process to create an ability of reflection and a critical awareness. The library is not a warehouse of information, but a place for individuals and collaborative experiences and learning. Now we move on to Web 2.0. Miller envisaged the principles of Web 2.0 as: firstly, Web 2.0 presages a freeing of data. Web 2.0 permits the building of virtual applications. It is participative. In Web 2.0, applications work for the user. Web 2.0 applications are modular. Web 2.0 is about sharing of information, data, etc. Web 2.0 is about communicating and facilitating community, and Web 2.0 is basically a very long tail. Besides this, Web 2.0 describes the changing trends in the use of World Wide Web technology and web design that aims to enhance creativity, communications, secure information sharing, collaboration, and functionality of the web. The essence of Web 2.0 or the read-write web is participation in creating information dynamically, whereas the earlier phase of the web or the read or only web searching primarily focused on presenting information statically. Two prominent characteristics of Web 2.0 technologies are multi-way communication and collaborative information creation retrieval. So we have seen that Web 2.0 has gone much beyond what was available in the earlier web version. Let's now understand elements of Web 2.0. Web 2.0 is a platform with applications and files stored on the web rather than on a user's desktop. In this arrangement, software is a service and often a free service rather than a product. The second defining element of Web 2.0 is participation. The web is now the participatory web, the social web, the read or and write web. We see this as personal activities in Wikipedia. It is a technology shifting the web to turn it into a participatory platform in which people not only consume content, normally we consume content by downloading, but also contribute and produce new content, that is via uploading. So Web 2.0 ideas incorporate new techniques which are tagging, blogs, wikis, mashups, etc., which are breaking the barriers between the users and the data providers by creating new and useful links among them. The idea is that the web harnesses collective intelligence and empowers users through the formation of communities and the mass publication of user-generated content. Let's take a look at some examples of Web 2.0. Firstly, we have the social networking sites. A very good example of this is the Facebook. In the present times, who is not familiar with the Facebook? Everyone is basically on Facebook and can communicate with anyone, anywhere. Secondly, there are the video sharing sites. A very good example of this is the YouTube. You can put anything on the YouTube, and as and when you want to take a look at some recording or some music, etc., or some video, you can go to the YouTube. Besides this, there are the wikis, then there are blogs, And lastly, there are social bookmarking sites. For example, del.icio.us. We'll be studying more about these in the subsequent slides. In this figure, you can take a look at all the examples of Web 2.0. In fact, Web 2.0 refers to a perceived second generation of web development and design that facilitates communication, secure information sharing, interoperability, and collaboration of the World Wide Web. Moreover, the term Web 2.0 is often applied to a heterogeneous mix of relatively familiar and also very emergent technologies. Social media has become extremely popular as it allows people to connect in on the online world to form relationships for personal and business activities. The term most often refers to activities that integrate technology, social interaction, and the construction of words, pictures, videos, and audios. Most of these tools started as business applications and were designed for real-time communication before finding their way to education, learning, and every phase of human endeavor. In fact, besides this, these are most popularly used by almost everyone as a kind of entertainment or recreation. Let's understand the relationship between Web 2.0 and information literacy. Traditionally, information literacy instructions in libraries have been about how to use the library, how to access databases, and how to find books and journal articles in the OPAC. OPAC is Online Public Access Catalog. Today, we have more opportunities and responsibilities to instruct our patrons in the use of Web 2.0 tools. In terms of scholarly and authoritative research, librarians today can help users improve their information literacy skills by using tools with which the students are most comfortable. Connection between information literacy and Web 2.0 would widen the existing literacies. This connection is about librarians' own knowledge and abilities, connection with new type of users, content which we could use as teachers, content for users to employ in their study, and to reach the so-called web generation or of all the users. Thus, Web 2.0 librarians should help their patrons understand how to use a Web 2.0 tool as a starting point and how to move their search fluidity from there into a library database. The most important responsibility of the Web 2.0 librarian may not be to teach information literacy, but rather to build upon and refine the skills that users already have. Let's take a look at some of the Web 2.0 tools. The various Web 2.0 tools that can be considered as means for teaching information literacy may take the form of blogs, photo sharing and video sharing, tagging and bookmarking sites, as well as social networks. Examples are Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, wikis, podcasts, etc. Let's take a look at usage of Web 2.0 tools in information literacy instruction in detail. With regard to each Web 2.0 tool, we will be telling you about use in information literacy instruction. Firstly, Twitter. Twitter distributes library news and information, provides customer services, builds connection with researchers, and builds connections with other librarians and institutions. So all the people who are involved in a particular, say, discipline, for example, all the library professionals who want to be, they can join each other on Twitter and they can distribute news, information of value to others. Then there is another example is of Web 2.0 tool is Facebook. Facebook distributes news and information, and also for libraries news and information could be distributed. share photographs and run competitions. Although Facebook has lot of, it's a social site, networking site, and people can use it for social purposes, but we are going to tell you is only about use with regard to library and information science. So it distributes library news, information, etc., shares photographs and run competitions, arrange events including tracking RSVPs and sending event details, engagement with students, giving questions, answers, and provide information about library services. And in fact, on Facebook, people can form a group in which they can exchange information, news, etc. Another Web 2.0 tool is Pinterest. It's Pinterest. Use in teaching information literacy is, firstly, it promotes general library collection, digital collection, and information literacy. Secondly, sets up online repositories for students to pin researched references as part of collaborative group work, and hence the name Pinterest. And in addition to this, it develops communities with other online libraries. So it is a tool which is very, very useful for modern day library information science professionals. Then next one, the tool that we have is the YouTube. In YouTube, we can have streaming film collections, which is a very useful teaching information literacy tool. Then library can create its own videos for promotional programs and tutorials on how to access library resources and databases. And these are available to everyone who has access to YouTube. Then next Web 2.0 tool is Blog or Blogger. It's by WordPress. It has tremendous use in teaching information literacy. The various uses are, firstly, aids the students to develop writing skills, encourage creation of communities and reflections. Secondly, keeping a blog is a way of recording progress and managing time. And thirdly, it can be used to build up evidence and gather opinions from peers and instructors. In fact, many prominent people have established or set up their blogs in which they keep posting their views, comments, and people can also be connected to these people. Then the next Web 2.0 tool is instant messaging, that is IM Chat. Instant messaging provides inexpensive virtual reference. It also allows user presence within the library web presence. It allows collaboration between patrons and librarians. And besides that, it has other uses as well in teaching information literacy, because anytime any user wants any information from others or any virtual reference, it can be immediately made available. Then another Web 2.0 tool is Wiki, which is represented by globe logo wikis. It has tremendous use in teaching information literacy, and the first use is that it is a good starting point for research. Secondly, it encourages group work and peer review. Thirdly, wikis can be used to facilitate a presentation in place of conventional software. Besides this, librarians can create subject guide for their users and allow them to discuss and suggest additions to each pages. In fact, on any topic, if any information is instantly required, one can go to the wikis and find out. And it's, as already mentioned, it is a very good starting point for research because the initial information is made available on wikis. Then another Web 2.0 tool is RSS feed. It allows regular updation of chosen information, and it also allows students and researchers to subscribe to regular content from news services, blogs, and relevant content from databases. And it is, in fact, the logo for this is RSS feed icons. And these are some of the Web 2.0 tools which are very useful for teaching information literacy. Besides the Web 2.0 tools we have already discussed, there are some more. One of them is podcast. Its use in teaching information literacy includes several aspects. Firstly, librarians can use podcasts for library instruction, especially for distant learners. Secondly, they allow students to time shift. And thirdly, librarians can offer podcasts for promotional recordings about library services and programs. Then, besides this, another Web 2.0 tool is social bookmarking sites. In fact, these provide ways for users to store and organize web pages with tags or describe keywords. Social bookmarking sites also allow users to make use of other people's tags while searching for specific information. And besides this, the social bookmarking sites can be helpful to instructors who can use these sites to save helpful web resources. So we have seen that the several Web 2.0 tools are very useful in teaching information literacy, and they are mostly popular with the youngsters or the users and the students of library and information science. So to conclude, students, let's now summarize what we have learned in this module. In this module, we have learned about the basic concept of information literacy. We have highlighted various definitions given by core professional bodies involved in the evolution and development of the concept of information literacy. We have talked about the definitions given by organizations like CLIP, ACRL, and IFLA. Further, we have covered the evolution of the concept of information literacy 2.0. With the help of diagrams and tables, we have tried to explain the close relationship between user education, information literacy, Web 2.0, and information literacy 2.0. We have also discussed the evolution of the concept of Web 2.0 and its principles. We have gained detailed knowledge on information literacy, Web 2.0 tools, and how they are interdependent on each other. Lastly, we have explained the effectiveness of Web 2.0 tools in teaching information literacy. For example, we can use these by using blogs, Facebook, Pinterest, YouTube, blog, wikis, RSS feed, and social bookmarking sites. The other details, etc., are given in the e-course material. Besides that, references are also provided and reference to websites is also provided. Thank you.